Hi, Saskatoon. It's been 11 weeks now that I can't get an answer out of the head of planning. The director of planning for the city of Saskatoon, Leslie Anderson, doesn't want to come clean with a full answer. They gave part answers, her and the solicitor, to the Planning and Development Committee about Prairieland Park, but they won't tell the full truth. And I'm concerned by this. So maybe you should understand more about why I'm worried about it and decide for yourself. There's a big problem with the lease, and I think an outside solicitor or lawyer should look at this, because I think that when they interpret what they want to interpret, they're picking and choosing what they want to enforce and what they don't. And the only benefit that they're giving is to Prairieland Park, so that their friends at Prairieland Park aren't being held to the same law that every other citizen is, every other business is. And that bothers me. But on the planning side, there's some big issues. Ms. Anderson, the director of planning, stated that there's only 2 uses on that site. Basically, the main uses are the fairground and the racetrack, and everything else is accessory. Well, that means that the major moneymaker, which is the large World Trade Center, is an accessory use to the parking lot around it. So ask yourself if that seems plausible. The other condition is that the racetrack is the primary use and sports on tap is secondary or an accessory use to that. And that would kind of tie in with what Mark Regier, the CEO of Prairieland Park, has said in the past as well. The problem is that if the racetrack isn't running, that accessory shouldn't be open. So on its own, that's a problem. But accessory uses still have to be permitted, and that was the big thing that the director failed to mention. You cannot have accessory uses in a zoning area unless it's either permitted or discretionary within that use. So if it's not listed as permitted, it doesn't matter if you call it accessory or not. It shouldn't exist, and it should be stopped immediately. So as an accessory use to the racetrack, sports on tap should already be closed because the racetrack's closed. And as an accessory use within the zoning bylaw, it's not a permitted use no matter what, but there's a lot of other uses on that site. So Director of Planning, Leslie Anderson, for the city of Saskatoon, why don't you come clean with one yes or no answer? That'll set the whole record straight. Are accessory uses required to be a permitted use, or are they allowed to be anything? So if it's not permitted or discretionary use, can it be anything? Can you have exotic dancing, for example? Because there's nothing to prohibit it based on what you've said. And you're giving unfair advantage again to Prairieland Park, and you're not doing the same for everybody else in the city. You've held the zoning bylaw against the Granite Curling Club. They couldn't even have a flea market because you guys said that it was going to breach the zoning bylaw. And that would be considered an accessory use since their main use is curling, so they should be allowed to do anything. You use 2 sets of rules. The rules that you want to apply, you interpret, and the other ones that you interpret a different way for everybody else that pays taxes in the city. That needs to stop. I want that to stop, and I want everybody to understand that the city isn't acting equitably for everybody's best interests. So please be informed. Push the city to give real answers here, because they're letting it slide and they're pretending like they've done something when they haven't. And if council is listening, you should push this out to an outside lawyer for both the zoning bylaw review and the lease agreement. And if you don't understand that by now, you need to start looking into it. Thank you. Have a great day.